Good evening, guys. I am back with another figure review, and this is the Marvel Legends Age of Apocalypse X-Men Marvel's Rogue. This is a X-Men Rogue figure from a particular comic line, and I'm going to give you a bit of a history lesson. So the comic Age of Apocalypse came out in 1995, and it was a really interesting take on the X-Men. It was set in an alternate universe where Xavier had been killed by his son. And as a result, Magneto essentially led the X-Men. And because Magneto's go to Magneto, the X-Men were a lot more violent and aggressive. And yeah, it went through a couple of different writers. I think Mark Waid was one of the writers, but it had a couple of different writers on its run. It was very popular. And one thing I remember was some of the character designs were really out there. They were really 90s comic book designs. You had Scott, you had Cyclops with kind of long hair and a visor, and you had Wolverine who had one hand. He had lost his hand, and I think he had like a metal kind of gauntlet where his other hand had been, and Sabretooth was an essential part of the team. But it was a very edgy and dark version of X-Men, and of course, being the 90s, it kind of embraced that because you had the likes of Spawn and you had the likes of Dark Horse Comics putting out The Mask and stuff. So a lot of characters in the 90s were edgy, and the X-Men kind of followed suit with this style. And I liked some of the designs. Some of the designs were hokey, but one design I think was really cool was Rogue. She was really kick-ass. I like the way they designed her in the comic. And we'll actually have a closer look at that on the box. But yeah, guys, first off, collector-friendly box. We got a winner here. I love my collector-friendly box. Marvel Legends there at the top, and at the bottom, X-Men Marvel's Rogue. And you also have Age of Apocalypse at the top there. At the side, you have Rogue. And at the other side, you have Rogue. And there is the proper picture right there. So Marvel Legends series, Marvel's Rogue. Rogue moves her way up the ranks of Magneto's X-Men, eventually leading a team of mutants to prevent the culling of mankind. So yeah, again, really cool kind of fucking alternate universe story. You can't beat alternate universe stories. And I'll also show you the rest of the characters you can get in the line. Again, these are from all the Age of Apocalypse designs. You have Colossus, the Build-A-Figure. You had Magneto, who looked really kind of like a Viking. You have Rogue. You have the weird, gnarly looking Cyclops. You have Sabretooth. You have Shadowcat. You had Iceman. And you had Marvel's Legion. He could, I think he was like multiple man. I'm not 100% sure. But again, really cool design. Some of them a bit hokey, as I said. I think maybe Scott Summers is a bit of an edgelord in this one. I'd still like to get the figure though. But yeah, I loved how 90s the Age of Apocalypse comic was. So guys, I'm going to pause the video here. And when we come back, we shall have a closer look at Rogue out of the box. Don't go anywhere. I shall be right back. And we are back. And here is Rogue out of the box. Now, first off, let's have a look at the figure before I look at the accessories. This is a really nice figure. It is nicely sculpted. It doesn't have the double joints on the elbows though, I noticed that. It seems to kind of forgo the double joints for just pin joints in the elbows. Head-wise, head can go around full 360. Same with the torso there. Legs, you can't do the Van Damme. There is a double joint in the knee, and the hands can be moved. I really do like that face sculpt though. That is a gorgeous face sculpt. Paint-wise, the paint application is gorgeous. Really pops. The costume is very reminiscent of the costume from 90s X-Men. Even the hair is very reminiscent from the 90s X-Men cartoon, I should have said. Yeah, a lot of people had a crush, a lot of young boys had a crush on Rogue. Can't for the life of me think why though. But yeah, I really liked the voice actress who played Rogue in the original animated series. She had a lot of sass and a lot of personality. And then when they cast Anna Paquin in the role, I was like, eh. Anna Paquin's a fantastic actress, but I don't know would I have her cast as Rogue. She felt kind of a bit lackluster. One thing I just noticed there is there's a little kind of holster or bangle around the leg which is coming down. Again, it's still it gives it a bit of kind of definition and pops the color, breaks up the color. And I'm surprised and puzzled that they didn't just make this like a mold this onto the leg. It can come down, but at the same time, it's still cool. There's also a bit of articulation there in the hips. It's a gorgeous figure, and it's solid as well. It's not too flimsy and it's not too rubbery. Again, that's a gorgeous face sculpt. Accessory wise, she doesn't really come with much. Two kind of bald fists, so if she wants to go fighting, she can. And she also comes with this arm for Colossus, which is pretty cool. I like the design. So yeah, that's the Marvel Legends Age of Apocalypse Rogue. I'm going to pause the video, and when I come back, I'll compare her to some other Marvel Legends X-Men figures. So don't go anywhere, guys. I shall be right back. And we are back, and here is Rogue in my alleyway diorama. And she has some friends with her. First off, on her right-hand side is the Marvel Legends X-Force Magic figure, which, given the character's kind of size and petite nature, does scale up really well with this figure. And on her left side, I have House of X's Scott Summers, aka Cyclops. And again, that scales up really well. That looks really well. I'm really liking this Rogue. The last couple of Marvel Legends X-Men figures I've gotten, I love them. They kick ass, but they're very drab in the kind of color department. Even Scott here, he's got blue going through his costume, but it's very kind of heavy in the blacks and the dark navies, whereas the color with Rogue really pops and really makes the figure nice and interesting. And the face sculpt and hair sculpt is wonderful. It is something that is a throwback to the 90s X-Men animated series. But yeah, guys, who is your favorite version of Rogue? Is it the one from the comics? Is it the one from the animated series? Is it the one from the movies? Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, have a good one. Take care. Bye now.